Alright, today I'm going to be showing how to make a simple inventory. You can just stack infinite amount of items in there. You can scroll around, they obviously all show up. And if the item is not an equipable item, it'll just show a back icon next to it because you can't equip it. So for the equipable items, if you equip it, it shows an equipped icon next to them. You can switch between bows, weapons, shields, whatever you want. If you're using a hammer, you can attack with it. Melee weapon, if you're using a bow, it starts shooting. And you can also use shields. And I'm pressing equip here, it does not allow me to equip. You can also just drop everything. It also unequips the item when you're dropping them, because earlier I had a bug that wouldn't allow me to do that. It also remembers where you last left off in your cycle, which is very nice. And yeah, let's get into how to code it. Now, overall, this is all the code you need. Not a lot, although it still is quite a bit for beginner coders. So first I'm just gonna show the code so you can pause and look at it and copy however you'd like. And then afterwards I will explain it through and through. Page, blah blah blah. There we go, should probably just do it like this. Show the line numbers. Okay. So we're gonna I'll just do it like this so you can get everything in there. Here you go. I pause there. Go downwards here. Pause here if you'd like. Alright, very good. This code. This code. I'll just stop here. Okay, and then we go down here. Then we go down here. We're gonna have to show a lot more of this code. There we go. This is for the first line. Then we go. Now this code will be a lot longer, so I might want to look at it in two parts. Ooh, wait, how much did I show? Okay, from to the bracket 10 there. There we go. Over here. Go down to the last two lines. All right. Let's pause here, maybe. Yeah. The midsection, and then here the last section. All right. How much time do I have? A lot. Okay. Let's get over the code. This is just normal standard code, T1. And you create a boolean here called inventory, call page inventory. Now, this is called inventory, this page. You can also just call page 2 if you'd like. And otherwise, else, if you're not inventory open, you start it to play night jump sound. You don't need this, but it just sounds nice. Tab pressed. This is for opening and closing the inventory. I'm using keyboard, so I like to use tab. If you're using controller, you can maybe use D-pad right, or bumper, or back button, whatever is best for you. Follow camera, WASD move. Now here we go, equipment. So if you have something equipped, otherwise you cannot attack, left mouse button pressed. This refers to the equipment, oops, my bad, This recursive equipment that you have equipped is a ranged weapon, then you will shoot. And if the weapon, is a melee weapon, you will attack. Now this is usually X for the controller, but you know, I have a different keyboard. Right mouse button presses block, so notice here it'll still allow you to block even if you don't have a shield equipped. If you do want to only block when you have a shield equipped, you can just do this. Block, and then is shield. This way, you'll only block if you have a shield equipped, so this is up to you. Space jumped, this is obviously the jumping feature. Now this is for a third person code. If you use the first person one, you can look at the other first person thingy code I've made before. But here is detect interactables, so like doors and stuff, or you detect global items, which we'll get into really soon. Which are the items on the floor, which, if you have followed my previous tutorials, you'll know how to basically add that to them. Now, why do we do OR is because, yeah, I don't know, sometimes it gets funky there. And I pulled this id objects in front, the second line, because otherwise it gets a bit weird, I don't know. I could actually, I think now put it here, but this works too, because earlier I had some issues. Anyway, not it held in inventory, so if the item, if it's either detected or interactable, it's on inventory, because if you don't do this, it will constantly try to interact with your stuff in the inventory. Highlighted yellow, and this is the normal display code you'll get from a third-person Adventure Brain. Except for down here, I said middle mouse press, so this would be B. Yeah, this is B pressed. Interact it. So if it's like a door or whatever, it interacts with it. But if global item contains it, pick it up. This puts it in the inventory. And that's it for the main page. Now let's get over here in inventory. Remember, we're calling the inventory page only when the inventory is open. And call, not switch. Because you still want to be able to move. Page entered, so it runs this every time. BG height is a number variable equals 0.1, BG width equals 0.1. Now, you don't need these variables, and you can just make these heights 5 and this thing 5 as well. Alternatively, you can just do scale 5 and leave it be. However, this does a little like animation when you open the inventory to make it a bit more slick, you know. So we just say brown tile from the gallery. You can choose other tiles if you want to. These are all the same size, so if you change the color, you don't need to change any of the numbers. At screen position, 0 plus west multiplied by 0.5. We just put it slightly to the left. That way you can still move around and attack, but also view your inventory. BG width less than 5. BG width will increase by 0.5, so it sort of like opens up. But otherwise, if the BG width is the width, so it first like zooms like to the right and left, and once it hits 5, then it'll ask, okay, is the height already at maximum? If it's not at 5, then the BG height will increase by 0.25. You can change these numbers to make them open or close faster. I just prefer these numbers. And don't use numbers like 0.3, uneven numbers, otherwise they might not be symmetrical. I mean, you could, but it gets a bit funky. Anyway, now once BG height is greater than 5, basically once the inventory is fully animation is done, we can run the inventory code. If you don't want the animation, as I earlier said, you just want it to be 5 here, you can just basically remove all this and you don't need this line of code. You can keep it blank and then just pull everything in here to the first line. However, I kind of like the animation, so I left it. I just realized I think I didn't turn on my wait, hold up. There we go. I turned on my audio remove thingy. That way it's not so much background noises. I turned it on earlier but forgot about it. Anyway, BG height greater than 5. Started to play a sound. Night jump. It's just basically once the animation runs, it has a nice little kind of like inventory satchel sound. Mouse wheel up. Inventory selection incremented by 1. You can also just name this inventory a scroll or whatever you'd like. Mouse wheel down and you go down. You can adjust this if you are using a controller. I would say just use the D-pad to scroll this, like D-pad up and down. And here we go, inventory selection equals clamp inventory selection. What this means is you can just scroll to infinity if you have no items. Or if you have items, let's say you have 8 items, but you start scrolling up to like 10, 11, 12, and there's just empty space there. That way it doesn't do this. Maximum is inventory count, so and plus equipment. So basically if you have items equipped plus your inventory, that'll be the maximum amount you can scroll. And minimum is 1. Now it will get a bit funky because if you have no items, it'll constantly jump in 0 and 1. You could potentially fix this by just saying if inventory selection not equal to 0, but then we'd also have to like nest this thing under it. So for now, this works, no problem. Let's move on. Now remember, all of these codes is under BG height greater than 5. Everything under here is.